Hi guys, it's Christy with Pearl and Alex, and today I'm going to show you the makeover I did on this roadside find. Actually looks like half of an old vanity, we're just going to get started here. The first thing I did was have a little talk with Henry and ask him to stay out of the way. And the next thing I did was remove any hardware I wasn't going to use. This only came with one drawer, so these top two spaces I'm going to turn into shelves, so it doesn't need these drawer stops here. And there were a couple of random nails stuck in here, so I'll remove those as well. And the next thing I did was wipe it down. I'm just using Windex here, and unfortunately it didn't help much. This little guy has lived a pretty hard life. So, and then after that, I made the repairs. The top to this was not attached, so I reattached the top and then made some repairs to the inside spaces so that the shelves would fit in. Then I went ahead and painted 2 coats of this black chalk paint. This is the Craft Smart brand from Michaels. It had super great coverage. It did need 2 coats, but I was concerned about this black color, but oh my goodness, it turned out great. And as you can see, there are little pits and nail holes all over this thing, and it really just kind of smoothed all of that out and made it so that you couldn't see them very well. But it's still got the character to it. So I used a small, just regular Dollar Tree brush for the detail areas, and then for the larger areas I used a small roller. Here are the decals I'm going to put on here. They're from Iron Orchid Designs, and it's a lemon pattern. Now, I've never tried putting these on this particular type of chalk paint, so I want to do a little test, and you'll see that here in a minute. I did Google some instructions, and they were pretty all over the place. Some people said to seal it first and then put the decals. Some people said not to, so I decided to do a little test with a little piece. So here is my test. I already rubbed this on, and it is sticking really, really well. So I think that we can go ahead and just put it on now and then seal it afterwards. These decals are absolutely huge. So I did not want to put the whole thing on in this order, so I just kind of cut apart the pieces I want to use and arranged them on the top how I wanted them. I did want some cascading over the side, but not too awful much. So I've arranged these in order. Some of these are laying on top of each other, some of them are underneath, like you can see here. When you get your Iron Orchids Design decals, they come with this little stick, and you can rub on your decals with it. You can also use an old credit card or an old gift card or something. So you'll see I moved these aside because this piece here was going to be underneath the others. So I moved aside the pieces that were going to be on top of it, and then I'm cutting off the part that's going to cascade on the side. We'll do that separately. And they are a tiny bit sticky on the side, on the back, so they will stay in place while you're working with them. So I move those aside, and then I go ahead and start to rub it on. You'll see here as you rub them down, they'll start to change color, and that means that they have released from this grid paper and they are now stuck to your piece. Okay, so to get down this little molding right here, you just kind of fold this in and just work a stage at a time with your little tool. And then I'm gonna go to the next one. I had to stop and take a call from my BFF, so. Okay, so now we're just gonna go down to this next little stage and burnish it down. And now down to the last one and burnish it down. Oops. We'll put something over that. There we go. And then that is all down. So now as you lift it up, sorry, not as young as I used to be. Okay, so lift it. You want to lift it really slow. And if you see there are some parts that aren't stuck down, just take your tool ahead of it and rub it down. And there we go. Beautiful. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you're all done with this, you'll want to take that grid paper and rub it across your piece so that you can make sure everything is stuck down really well. What I did was I just lined it up with this one up here so it looks like it's just cascading down, and then press it down just a little because, like I said, it's a little bit sticky on the back, so it'll stay there. And then you rub it on just like you rub on any of the others. Putting it on the side did not go as smoothly as putting it up top. I don't know what the difference here is, but well, I can feel that that's really glossy paint. So maybe that's the difference, but you can see like this leaf, where did I put that? The rest of that leaf is still here, and it took off the paint. I'm gonna be able to touch these up in this space here and over here, but I want to just kind of cover this up here, and then this leaf here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this just kind of like that, and hopefully it goes on a little easier than the other one. So just to give you an update, it did not go on easier than the other one, but it did go on. I got most of it on there. And what I did and forgot to film was I went back, touched up all of these areas where the paint had come off, and then I also painted the inside of the drawer. It was in pretty rough shape too, so I went ahead and painted the inside of the drawer, and I applied a decal in there. So it turns out I forgot to film a ton of this. So in addition to this, I painted the inside of where the shelves were gonna go and applied shelves in there. I glued them down with some carpenter's glue and painted them. And then I sealed the whole thing with 2 coats of polyacrylic. And here's a look at the final results. It turned out so pretty, but it does still have that character from the nail holes and the history on it. So I really love that, and hopefully I can sell it for a good profit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time.